with television is that you never know what's coming, and you can't really fully prepare like you would for a movie or a play, where you have a beginning, middle, and an end to a character. So it can be, and what ended up happening with me, it can be very frustrating because you're trying to do all the work that you can do, but you have no idea of actually what you're going to be given to work with. And I think, I think ultimately, as much as I'm really happy and proud that I did all the work that I needed to do, I think I didn't help myself and did myself a disservice because I was looking forward to certain things that had no guarantee of happening. And that's as it turned out.
Thank you very much. Very interesting. And Seth, thank you for being such a badass.
Thank you.
I'm short. Hi.
Me too.
Yeah. All right. I think this. Holy cow. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna do this. Hi, I'm Felicia. I'm from Minneapolis.
Hey, Felicia.
Hi. Okay, so this is a question for both of you regarding perspective and how it can change when you are at the beginning of something and nearing towards the end of something. For Tom, you have a different perspective with yours because Seth, you're still currently on the show. As this whole beast is winding down to a close, what has been your perspective on, well, at the beginning I thought I believed in this, or I thought I knew this about myself, but as it came to that end, wow, it didn't turn out the way it did, or I learned something different than I thought I would?
That's a really good question, because there's definitely, I think everyone goes on a journey with the show, and with your career, everyone has a certain journey. With the show, my first premiere of the show was going to Madison Square Garden for season 6, and it completely blew my mind. I was like, because I didn't watch the show at the beginning, and I knew Andy, and it'd been going for 6 years, and I knew people watched it, and it was a big deal. But there was nothing like being in Madison Square Garden and actually being a bit scared about the whole thing. These guys all got up on stage and were like, oh, and the whole of Madison Square Garden's going crazy. That was a big deal. And then I enjoyed the whole riding the wave of Walking Dead and going through it and having the long hair and the beard and getting recognized in public and being slightly famous is a fun deal. But then it was really nice to be able to cut it all off and play the other part and do that. And I guess the perspective really is going on that roller coaster and joining the biggest television show in the world. But then it not quite ending up going exactly how you want it to be, but having all this fame and I bought a house during, all that kind of stuff. It definitely changed my life, but it didn't necessarily make me happier. It definitely helped me in aspects of my life, but it was nice to be able to kind of realize what was really important during the whole journey. And actually, the conventions and meeting the fans were a huge part of my whole journey with Walking Dead. And if I'm truly honest, my favorite part of the whole experience. And I really feel that all actors should go to conventions or at least meet their fans, because I think it's easy to become disconnected. And it's so important. That's why actors should do theatre, and you should connect with the people that are giving you your livelihood. And The Walking Dead was such a big deal, and there's so many people all around the world involved in it. And yes, it's nice to go and be like, oh yeah, I'm that guy off that TV show, but it's lovely to come and look in someone's eyes, and give them a hug and take a picture, and that's honestly the biggest thing I took away from the whole thing. So the perspective has really been about that, and about why you do it, and what you're doing it for. Because before then it was like, I want to do the biggest job, I want to be in movies, and yeah, I want to be on the biggest show on television. But then understanding what that really means. And it's been really great. And I really feel like anyone who's got a big head about being an actor or making loads of money or being famous, it's all rubbish. It's all complete BS. And you should really come down and meet the people, I think. Sorry, rambling answer.
I don't know if I have time to answer.
Sorry.
Next question.
My perspective, interesting that you mentioned Madison Square Garden. I had my mother there who doesn't really watch the show. She sat in the front row and I got booed by 15,000 people. I was sat on the stage of Madison Square Garden and saw every other actor announced get a huge, rousing ovation. They introduced me, I got booed, I jumped up, basically said, and sat back down and thought, fuck this crowd. Yes, now it's a lot of money. So my perspective has changed completely. I didn't want to go to conventions and meet these fans who booed me. But I found that I do love the interactions with the fans, knowing whether or not they're getting the story that I'm trying to tell. And that's been enlightening. I've been able to travel the world and see how my acting is perceived and received, which has been very helpful. And the character has changed over the years to the point where now he kills and people love him. Bloodlusty crowd. So my perspective is one now of that people are capable of change, and just like Father Gabriel has changed, the reception to him has changed, and the things people say to me on the street have changed.
I mean, I always admire the actors that play the super flawed, unlikable characters, because they have to go through that, but we need all those kinds of characters, and it kills me, like Brighton Charbonneau, who played Lizzie. She was 11 years old, she was getting death threats online, you know? Like, just, people need to separate the characters from the parts.
Well, that's what Josh came off social media because of all that stuff as well.
I got death threats before fucking Josh.
You're not on
2 death threats and left social media. I got 12. Fuck Josh.
But you came to all the conventions anyway, and I feel like you had a pretty good reputation for fans enjoying their interactions with you from the start, right?
Well, I guess.
You did.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good question. Hi.
Hi, my name is Casey and my question is for Tom. So one of my favorite things about your character was I really loved Jesus' friendship with Maggie. So my question is, what do you think Jesus would feel about Maggie's loyalty to the hilltop and choosing to stay back and rebuild instead of taking her people to the Commonwealth?
I think he'd really like that. He'd be also asking her, where did you go? And where were you when I got killed? And why did you abandon us? But cool, good for you, you're still alive. No, I think it would be great. I mean, literally everyone died. So who else is going to be the leader? Oh, you better come back and be the leader. So, I mean, honestly, I think he'd be like, good for you, you're still alive, brilliant. But I think in the big swing of things, yeah, I think it's great that she's back and in charge. I mean, he was always a big champion of hers and wanted her to be, in a more powerful position, and he was very supportive of her. Yeah, he was very supportive of her. There was one. This is on tape, isn't it? Oh, whatever, I'm not on the show anymore.
Yes,
there was a moment at the end of, it was an episode, season 8, when she was like, I'm gonna get revenge on Negan. And they wanted me to be like, yeah, we will. And I had spent the whole season being kind of anti-killing Negan and anti-fighting people and anti all that kind of stuff. And so it was me going, yeah, we will. And then Norman coming out of the shadows and going, yeah, we will. And I just refused to do it. And I said, I didn't say the line, I said the line in kind of yeah, we will, kind of half supporting, and they cut it out. And then they killed me the next season. But it's really hard for me to, I told them at the time, like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I can't lie on camera because you'll be able to tell. And I spent the whole season being against war and against all this kind of stuff. And as much as my character would support Maggie, I felt like it was a bit of a weird thing for him to do, and like I couldn't do it truthfully as an actor, and I just refused to. So they cut it out. But I feel like he would have been very supportive of where she is, but he would want to have a discussion with her, as he did that whole season. I was like talking to her about, are you sure you're going to do this? Wait, what's this about? Blah, 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 blah. I think it's a shame that they're not there together right now, because I think that would be really nice. But
maybe a resurrection.
Yeah, they did that with a flashback. Like 3 episodes later, which I thought was kind of fun. They did that flashback where I gave the pact to Kari or whatever in the thing. That was fun. But yeah, I think you'd be happy for her because she's still alive.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I see we've got 5 minutes left, so as much as possible, maybe we can try to rapid fire through the rest of you guys' questions. Go ahead. Hi.
Sorry, that's my fault.
Hi, this question is for Tom and Seth.
Yeah.
You spoke about your frustrations about not getting what you want for your character. What is something you learned about how to express those frustrations to your boss?
Don't tell them you won't do stuff, because they'll kill you. Especially on that show.
I mean, what do you not do? What do you do and what do you not do? What is the appropriate thing? What is something maybe you regret doing or anything at all?
It's really hard. You don't have any power as an actor, is what you learn, really. Unless you're, like on Prodigal Son, I was like the lead of the show, you have a bit more power then. But ultimately, you don't have any power as an actor, and it's very frustrating. Especially if you feel like you've invested in the part and you know the part, and it comes from you. It's really hard when you get into those situations. It's really hard. So I don't know what I've learned really. It's just like shut up and get on with it. But that's really hard.
Yeah, because you want to give it your all, but then
yeah, like you want to.
I've learned that using logic helps to express, vent frustration with your boss. If you've got a logical, rational argument that you can make on your behalf, then it kind of shuts them up and makes them think.
So you can actually change their minds sometimes.
So you can change their minds in that way.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Next.
Hi, I'm Darian. I'm from Michigan, and this is for Tom. So I love Malcolm. Did you have to do any preparation for his part?
Like I said before, like so I read up on the the profiling and serial killers and all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, Malcolm was just a big open wound, basically. So that's ultimately how I approached that job. And every scene was just to be completely emotionally open and see where the scene went. And that was it. And that requires a lot as well, because then you're just like on edge the whole time. But it made for a good performance, I think. So yeah.
Thank you. Hey.
Hi, I'm Kai from Buckeye, Arizona.
Hey.
And this is a question for Seth. You said like when you first joined the show, you got a lot of hate. What's the rudest thing you said to a fan?
There are children here, but it's basically a line from Raging Bull. Your mother sucks big elephant dicks.
Hi, my name is Hanako and I'm from Atlanta. I have a question for Seth. So I see that you've recently signed on to do the Teen Wolf movie, and I'm so happy to see that. My question is, what will you have to do as an actor to move from Father Gabriel's mindset back to Deaton, and also to revisit a character that you've been removed from for several years?
He has to put his lines in a different book.
That's a great question. You start with going back and watching the 6 seasons of Teen Wolf and trying to remember who it was you created because you've been living in another skin, essentially, for a few years. So I'm gonna watch what I did. Hopefully that will remind me what I did, and then I can recreate the character. I don't carry Father Gabriel around with me. I kind of slip into that when I go to work. So I don't imagine it's going to be a big block for me to slide back into Deaton's shoes, Deaton's skin. I'm hoping that's going to be the case. And I read the first 20 pages of the Teen Wolf movie, and it is fantastic. It's fantastic, and it's a very different world. They're apples and oranges, the characters. So I don't imagine it should be very difficult. I hope I'm not hexing myself by saying that now.
One other thing, I said this to you similarly in Sonoya a couple of weeks ago, but the hate that you give for what you do as Father Gabriel, just please attribute that to the fantastic job that you do as that character.
Thank you.
Okay, last question. Hi.
Hi, I am also short. I'm Adrian, and my question is for Tom. Yesterday at the booth, you told me that they're making a sequel to The Physician, and my question is, like, how are you feeling about that, and are you excited to return to the role of Rob Cole after, you know, a decade of being without him?
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about that it's 10 years since I did that part, and there's kind of trying to make it almost a direct continuation, which is kind of funny, because I don't think I look exactly the same as I did.
I don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah, I know. We're going to mess around with it, I think. But I'm really excited. Like I was saying earlier on, I've been doing television now for like 7 years or something, and it's really, I can't wait to go back and do a movie. Like I'm sure Seth's really excited about going, just knowing what the beginning, middle, and end of a story is. And I have the script for the Physician sequel, and it's great, and I'm really excited, and it's, again, in like a medieval world, and it's completely different from Walking Dead and Prodigal Son, and so I'm really excited to, we'll be filming back in Europe again, which will be really nice.
It's like you're going back in time.
Yeah, it really will be. I mean, we were supposed to shoot during COVID, and then that messed up between seasons of Prodigal Son. But hopefully, fingers crossed, next year I'll be going back to Europe and doing a great, like, we don't make those kind of movies that often anymore, like this big, like, medieval epic movie. So I'm really excited to get back and do that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Wait, hold up. I want to first thank Seth for coming and doing this, even though your voice is shot. I appreciate you making the time and coming on stage. Thank you guys for some great questions. Your questions have gotten better over the years. I feel like you guys are really on point. And let's give it up for these guys one more time. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everyone.